guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, it's been a day. It wasn't a full day, but it was still a pretty stressful day. Today, Megan Boswell, her trial began, day one. Many of you guys probably watched, but in case you didn't, I want to, go through, even if you did or didn't, I think that hopefully you will enjoy the conversation because I want to go through. The local news has done a really great job of really keeping up with step by step throughout the day, updating their article on the case. Thank you, Music City Mom. I miss being on camera, but it's hard for me to read or play videos. So I thought if I can just come on to say hello. Thank you, B Crumbs. But anyway, so it was quite the day. The very first witness was Agent Fraley, and they basically got right into finding Evelyn. It didn't start with when she was reported missing. It didn't start with, Megan's parents, anything like that. And I don't know. I guess I just didn't expect that, So it was kind of difficult. Not kind of. It was difficult testimony. So, hey, Bendy. Hey, Lynn. Hey, all you guys. I'm going to drop the link, Jen, in just a few minutes if you wanted to come up. And also, I wanted to offer if anybody else wanted to as well. Dude, this camera thing. Hold on one second. Let me just mess with this for a second. Okay. It still looks funny. Like, I had that filter on and I just took it off, but it's still doing some funky to my face. So I don't know, but okay. So I'm going to turn it off anyways. I just wanted to come on and say hello to you guys. And I want us to get right into it, and it's distracting. Okay, Bendy, I'm going to eat dinner first because I'm starving. Hey, B Crumbs. Hey, Tony. Hey, Kathy, Pointer Lover, Claudia. Good to see you. Music City Mom, Linda, Lou Who, C Carter, good to see you. Yes, Tara, we're going to touch on them. And also, I think I'm going to play the defense and part this 1-minute clip that the local news put out, the ending of the state's opening. We're going to go through all of it. So Law and Crime has different angles than Court TV. And there was a few things shown on Court TV we didn't see on Law and Crime. And, I want to show you guys that too. So, okay, let me just share my screen. Hello to everyone I missed. Let's just get right into it and we can kind of chat along the way. So WJHL, I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can, and I'll link it at the end as well. WJHL, but there's a couple local news places. I have a video from another one. If we have time, we will watch too. Okay. No, I don't have too much here. We found out something interesting today. I have here in my notes. Megan was in foster care when she had Evelyn. We're going to watch it again. So in case I got that wrong, it was Agent Brian Fraley. We had the incident with Hunter outside of the jury's presence. So here. That's what the article is going to start with, but then it's going to walk backwards. But before we get into that, let's see. I'm going to start with a picture of Evelyn, actually. So this is Evelyn, and I do believe this to be the onesie that she was found in because it was a footed purple onesie with penguins on it. Then, here is the outside of the jury's presence, what we didn't see on Law and Crime, because Hunter apparently didn't show up Monday. All of the witnesses, he is a material witness. This was Megan's boyfriend at the time. Okay, and all the witnesses had to be there Monday when jury selection started. He didn't show up and he was arrested. And this was the judge telling him, buddy, you better be here every day except Sunday. And then before we get into everything that happened while they were talking about the discovery of Evelyn, this is Megan, okay? And didn't see this on Law and Crime. It's interesting because this article has a shot of what they see at the defense table. And on Court TV, they were showing that same shot, which looked more like a Zoom meeting. You could kind of see everyone. So This is Megan feeling sorry for herself or what? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. This is her as they're talking about and showing the images of Evelyn after she was found. And remember, she was deceased for a couple months at that point. So I believe she was found February 18th. I looked it up earlier, and she was last seen in the middle of December.
Department, just where we had better lighting, better environment to log and process evidence items that were also discovered.
Ooh, she's not looking for a reaction, is she? Tell me why she's doing this thing. Oh, my little sticker fell back down. Hold on. Okay. Like, it's like she's sitting there like this and she keeps going, ugh, like, wow, almost. Or like she's just so, I don't know. It pisses me off watching her, honestly, with her reaction to all of this. But I'm curious what you guys think. And it truly does look like she was looking for some approval right here. Let's look at this again. Let it play.
To the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, just where we had better lighting, better environment to log and process evidence items that were also discovered.
What are you looking? Oh, okay. Oh, and at that point, her attorneys, I couldn't see it on my phone. That's what she's looking at right there. These are photos of Evelyn as she is pulled from the trash, and you can't see it very well. Good. And thankfully, because they didn't show all of these, they showed some. But this here is, if you can see in his hand there, you can see the trash can, and then like looks like something that's wrapped up, kind of bundled up. She's looking, oh my gosh. Okay, let me play that again with that in mind. Wow. One more time.
To the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, just where we had better lighting, better environment to log and process evidence items that were also discovered.
Maybe it's not a look for approval. She's looking at the pictures.
To the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department.
It was 2 trash bags and a trash can. Yeah, and blankets and foil and yeah. Penelope, I know. There's so many people that can't have kids that would do anything for the opportunity to raise a healthy little baby. And Evelyn was just absolutely precious. Okay, let's go back to like this. The attorney told her to show remorse. I'm sure they probably did. I don't know. My thoughts are kind of changing now that I know that she was looking at her body, like the pictures of her. I don't know. Okay. So now let's go through this article. I'll turn the camera on and off, but not while on. I've got to turn it off while I'm reading. Yeah. So, okay. Opening statements and first witness. Day 1 of Megan's murder trial ends with legal dispute. The first day of Megan's trial began Wednesday morning in Sullivan County. She faces numerous charges in the death of her 15-month-old daughter, Evelyn. Among Boswell's charges are 2 counts of felony murder and 1 count of first-degree murder. When the court convened on Wednesday around 8:45 a.m., prosecutors began by stating they needed to dismiss count 18 against Boswell, one of the many counts of false reports against her. The judge dismissed the charge. And this caused all kinds of, this is why we only had court basically half the day. Hey, Justin. Sorry, I had to cough, so I had to mute. Her reaction, I think it's for herself. Her reaction makes me feel like she's thinking, why did I wrap her in foil? It makes me look so much worse. I wonder if she cried while doing the awful deed. Hey, Jordan. Good to see you. Yeah, you could tell she was lying in those interviews. It was awful. So The prosecution then asked that the defense not present any evidence on that count, since it would be hearsay unless she testifies. According to the presentment of charges against Boswell, count 18 alleged that Boswell made a false report to Sullivan County detectives and a TBI, whatever a TBI, I think they mean a TBI agent, by claiming either she or another person rolled over onto Evelyn while sleeping, resulting in her death. The court then recessed until 9 a.m. to await the jury. This is the photo here. So if you look here at what they're looking at on their screen, that's the view that they have. It's like a Zoom meeting where you can see the person on the stand, but also the tables, like the defense and the prosecution. On Long Crime, we didn't get to see that angle. So, and it looks like Court TV at times is showing that. So I think that's kind of interesting. But when the jury arrived, the judge explained what was required of them and how to consider evidence for each charge. And then it goes into her charges. The presentment alleges that one of her felony murder charges stems from her killing of Evelyn, quote, in the perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate the felony crime aggravated child abuse, while the other was allegedly done in the perpetration or attempt of aggravated child neglect. So then let's talk about the prosecutor's opening statement. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it was fine to me. I'm going to read about it. I'm not going to play all of this one. I'll play the last minute or so, and then I will play the defense. I don't know. I just felt like sometimes I'll hear an opening statement and it just gets me, like in your soul, in your gut, in your heart, the emotion, the feeling from it. I didn't necessarily get that. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, everyone's different, and the facts of the case are still the facts of the case, but that's just kind of my initial thoughts. So the prosecutor's name is Amber Massengill. She took the podium and said Evelyn would be about 6 years old if she were alive. She failed her in the worst possible way, she said of Megan Boswell. The prosecutor said the last time Evelyn was seen alive was shortly after her first birthday, and despite concern from other people asking Megan where Evelyn was, she had not been seen since December 6th. So that's a new date. We kind of had... I don't remember the exact date. I think it was like the 13th, 16th, something like that. Concerns grew throughout January and February as months passed without anyone seeing the child. Months passed. We're not talking about weeks, the prosecutor said. We're talking about 2.5 months the child is missing. It just makes me sick, honestly. And I will say there was a law created, Evelyn's Law. Let me actually just do a quick Google search so I can tell you accurately, that has to do with parents reporting their children missing. What is Evelyn's Law? The bill, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed Evelyn's Law on April 16th, and I don't know what year this article came out, but I think it was right after. The bill is named for Evelyn Boswell, a Tennessee toddler whose remains were located in March of 2020, leading to her mother being charged. Evelyn's Law is sponsored by State Representative, I don't know if it's a state representative, but Representative John Crawford and Senator John Lundberg, and seeks to increase penalties for parents and or guardians who do not report their children missing within 48 hours. It carries a jail sentence of up to 11 months and 29 days, a fine of $2,500 or both. And I feel like that's not even enough. If you're not reporting your child missing within 48 hours, there's a problem. So the prosecutor alleged that Boswell even made up stories and excuses to the pediatrician's office as to where Evelyn was between early December and late February. Over 2 months later, finally, Megan's dad, Tommy Boswell, ultimately put an ultimatum down. Tommy Boswell reported Evelyn missing on February 18th of 2020. It was basically like this. If I don't see, if I don't see Evelyn, I'm going to be calling the police, which thank God somebody did. Megan Boswell never reported her child missing, the prosecutor told the jury. She then told the jury that they would learn about Ethan Perry during the trial. Listen to this, you guys. So Ethan was believed to be Evelyn's dad. And at the time when it first happened, when she was first reported missing, Megan tried to claim that she was with him. But the prosecutor dropped today that is not even actually Evelyn's dad. We did not know that. The defendant's biggest believable story, that really is probably what kept the family from reporting earlier, is what she was saying, that Evelyn was with her father, Ethan Perry. And you'll hear a lot about Ethan Perry, and you'll get to hear from Ethan yourselves. Ethan Perry is actually not Evelyn's father, but Megan led him to believe that he was the father. The prosecutor said Boswell claimed she and Perry were engaged in custody battles. She just lied and lied and lied and lied. There were no documents or cases filed at all. There was no custody battle. Nothing. He was in the service in Louisiana. As to Evelyn's body, the prosecutor said that Boswell knew where Evelyn was, in a trash can that she placed her in. You're going to hear proof that directly links only one person to this crime, this horrendous crime, she told the jurors. While Evelyn was decaying, the prosecutor claimed Boswell started dating a new boyfriend, went on trips to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and moved in with him, all while her child is upside down, decaying in a trash can, she said. That's a quote from the prosecutor. According to the prosecution, law enforcement sprung into action and worked hard and long hours to find Evelyn as soon as Tommy reported her missing. Rather than come clean, the prosecutor said Megan started concocting stories and even blamed her own mom, which we saw that whenever we did the trial recap, if you guys watched that with me. And I'll make a playlist, actually, of the trial and the recap, everything all together. During jury selection, Megan's attorney told jurors that they had one chance to get it right for Boswell. Ain't that the truth? So here's the 1-minute clip I was talking about. This is the end of the opening today.
The defense said something really interesting in jury selection yesterday afternoon that I want to touch on. He said to you, you only have one chance to get this right. Do you remember that? Then he said, Megan only has one chance to get this right. Do you remember that?
Hey, Homer. Hey, Nurse Kristen.
I submit to you, Megan Boswell has already had her chance. She was gifted with a beautiful child.
Absolutely.
A healthy, vibrant little girl. Evelyn was perfect. Megan Boswell already had her chance. So today is Evelyn's chance.
Damn straight.
Today is our chance to get it right, not Megan's. Today's our chance to get it right for Evelyn.
New Proactive Clean, an acne routine for sensitive skin. Dermatologists developed and tested to clear mild acne and occasional breakouts.
Oh my gosh, I was freaking muted this whole time. I'm so sorry. I was trying, well, it wasn't that long. It was like 30 seconds, but still, I was talking to y'all. So this morning when we watched, I was pretty tired and watched very closely, but still, when I was reading over, what the news was reporting about, B crumbs, about the opening statements, from the defense. I want to play it. It's only 15 minutes. So I think that we might as well play it. I'm probably going to be pissed. You guys too. So we'll have to get through an ad first, but thankfully it's muted, so you don't have to listen to it. I thought it was my finicky earbuds. I'm sorry, Amy J. All hunker bunkers. It's a Nightbot thing. That's funny. Okay. Lynn, we still have to catch up and do a phone call and stuff. Okay, so here we go. Let's just listen to this together. All of it.
I don't really know where I was at, but when
Yeah, Jordan, it is her first one.
Right. About a lot of things. I mean, there's not a person in this courtroom that wants to be here discussing a dead child.
Wait a minute.
I don't really know where I was at, but when
I don't remember where I was at. So he had started. Oh, this was something else. He gets started with the opening statement. And somebody that was there with like Kingsport News. I don't remember the exact name, but it was Kingsport something. Was told not to use a flash. However, they were using a flash and the judge was pissed. He said, if I see that flash one more time, you're going to jail for 10 days for contempt of court. He was not playing around. He was not happy. So they had to start over, and this is where the clip starts.
She's right about a lot of things. I mean, there's not a person in this courtroom that wants to be here discussing a dead child. Nobody. Not you all, not me. But the state asks you to convict Megan Boswell of first-degree murder. It's very interesting what they've done. They've asked you to convict Megan Boswell of first-degree murder in 3 different ways. They've asked you to find that it's a premeditated.
It's very interesting what they've done. Well, yeah, they're in quite the situation because of your client, and it's not uncommon for you guys. I'm sure many of you have seen it. I've seen it probably in every trial I've watched. They might charge, like the murder charge, there might be multiple, just because if one doesn't exactly fit, the next one might. I mean, we see that all the time. Or they'll do first degree and second degree, just in case the jury says no to first degree. I've seen that too. So come on, dude, you are an attorney. Like, this cannot be that. I guess maybe to the jury, he might make the point to them that it's unique, but to him, it is not.
Meditated and intentional killing of her child.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're asking you to find that it's a murder that is perpetrated as part of child abuse. And then they're saying, well, if it's not that, surely it's because of child neglect.
Oh my God. Don't like him already.
That's a problem. The state's theory is reasonable doubt in and of itself. They don't know what happened. They don't know how that child died. And they can't prove how that child died.
Pretty sure the medical examiner named a cause of death during the hearing that happened over the photos. Because I do remember what it was, but okay.
I expect you will hear from a couple of different medical examiners.
Let me just look that up.
Somewhat the same conclusion, but one medical examiner, I think you'll hear from her, and she's went to. She has a very interesting theory. But I would suggest to you that her theory is flawed, and the proof will show you why. She has a very interesting theory. How that child died.
Sorry, guys.
They can't prove how that child died. I expect you will hear from a couple of different medical examiners who come to somewhat the same conclusion, but one medical examiner, I think you'll hear from her, and she's went to. She has a very interesting theory.
Okay. So do you mean you are going to bring on a witness that has a theory that's different from what the state says? Because the state can, in fact, tell us their theory, because I'm looking at this article from 2 years ago from WJHL, and the title is Forensic Pathologist Testifies Evelyn Boswell Died by Asphyxiation. An expert in the field of forensic pathology took the stand in Sullivan County and shared new details in the death of toddler Evelyn Boswell. It was over the photographs and could they be shown? And actually, they have included in this article the doctor's testimony. I'll link it in the chat in just a second, and I'll also put the link for the panel if anybody wanted to join. But after TBI testified, Dr. Dorinka MP, that's what I'll call her, took the stand. She is a chief medical examiner for Knox and Anderson counties. She also has an active license to practice medicine in Tennessee. She said she found that Evelyn's cause of death was asphyxia in 4 different places. She also said that it was, in her opinion, a homicide. In TBI agent Brian Fraley's earlier testimony, that's who we heard from today, he said Megan had previously said Evan died in an accident while co-sleeping with her and her then boyfriend. MP refuted that statement, saying Evelyn was too old at the time of her death to have died in such a manner, and the environment was not conducive to that type of death. According to MP, there was a, quote, mechanical obstruction, unquote, to her airway in the form of foil, and a blanket had been tightly wrapped around her head. In addition, MP testified that being in the trash can in which she was found was another form of asphyxiation. Boswell cried during this hearing as well. She described the way in which the toddler was placed in an unnatural folding of the body. So I won't go into that any further. I'm going to put the link in here. It does go into more detail. I want to keep listening with you guys. I'm going to link it in the chat. And I'm sure we will hear from her again, because even though this hearing happened, the jury, hopefully hadn't watched it, and they need to hear testimony from the medical examiner. So the local news article is right here. Just dropped it in the chat. And then I'm also going to drop the StreamYard link for Jen if she wants to join, or anybody has something you want to add.
But I would suggest to you that her theory is flawed. And the proof will show you why it's flawed. Just like yesterday I was talking about the board hour, I think I asked a couple of you about the scientific method. And if you put in incorrect data, would you get incorrect results? And you will, if it's data significance. The state asks you, I anticipate this medical examiner, based on her testimony in another hearing, is going to say that this child was alive when it was placed in the trash can. But then again, the state.
So he's also referencing her prior testimony in that hearing. I think it's extremely relevant as well.
It says Megan's guilty of abuse of a corpse. The theories are not consistent. They're not consistent with this. What the state hasn't talked to you about is the possibility of what if this was accidental? What if Megan or Hunter Wood hold up a child in the bed?
I don't think they're going to give that, no.
And I find this unreasonable, honestly. I find it unreasonable that you roll over on your child in the bed and you don't call 911. And I'm 49 years old.
Oh. Well, then why did your client tell that to police, sir? I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't have a great reason. I just already don't like him. I'm sorry. Okay. I just really dislike Megan. I'm only human. I'm not a professional. I'm just a normal person like you guys who's interested in this stuff and likes to talk about it with you. That's all. And I like to do it with respect always with respect to the situation and the victim and as, genuinely as I can. It's the only way I know to be. I don't like the dude already. So sorry. Pushing.
I practiced law for close to 25 years. The Carper talked about yesterday how your life experiences are different.
Probably not very fair, but whatever.
Well, mine are certainly
not like
different
him.
than Megan's. When this child died, she was 18 years old. Now, you heard about what a great father Tommy Boswell was and how involved he was. What you didn't hear is Megan had that child while she was in foster care.
There we go. Remember I told you? So he's taking a dig at Grandpa, who is the person who reported her missing, and saying, oh, he's such a great dad. Megan had Evelyn in foster care. That's not fair because we don't need the details of that.
She was in foster care when she had the child. I think you'll hear a lot in this trial about how she came up. And I like to tell people, and I do tell people, I've never had a hard day in my life. I've never went hungry. I've never not had a place to live. I've never fought a war, and I've never lost a child. And I can't put myself in the position of someone who has lost.
Oh, no, honey. We don't get to paint that picture. That just, really? Like, are you trying to gain a little bit of sympathy for Megan because she's lost her child? Well, sorry, buddy. Not going to work here. Punksy, thank you for being a member for 35 months. My 3rd year in recovery this month, and it started here. And I'm so proud of you and so thankful to know you. And I'm just thankful you're still here. And yeah, I'm really proud of you. Oh my gosh, I've missed a couple. Neat. Thank you for being a member for 19 months. Clicker, thank you for being a member for 16 months. And Girls Nana, thank you for being a member for 15 months. You are saying the same thing I was thinking. Well, good. Thank you, Girls Nana. I just don't like the
But that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Put yourself in Megan Boswell's position. She's 18 years old. She's got an older boyfriend.
I had a child at 19.
He tells her, don't involve me with this. I don't want to be involved. They're scared they're going to get charged with something. That's going to be the proof in this case. And
wait a minute. So are there texts?
My reaction.
Are there texts from Hunter? That makes me think maybe there's some messages between Hunter and Megan where he says, I don't want to be involved. Hey, Tiff, I don't want to be involved with this. Don't get me involved. He obviously, he didn't show up. But, dude, you need to show up because I need to hear what he has to say about, well, actually, I don't know if we'll hear it at all, the rollover theory, because they took that charge. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. Jen said earlier she would think all of Megan's statements would be relevant and could be used, but I don't know. It may not work that way.
Your reaction would be different. I would certainly call 911, but I'm not 18 years old. And sometimes I think back to myself and I say, I would have called 911 at 18 years old. And I probably would. But I know a lot of people at 18 years old that wouldn't. Their life experience is different. Their maturity is different. If any of you have kids, some of you probably know that. Now, I want to talk to you about about the indictment itself.
Too bad we can't see
his
his
face.
face.
Not guilty plea to each and every count. But we're persistent in that. But that probably seems disingenuous to some of you guys.
Yeah, we don't know who her dad is because I had always thought that it was Ethan, the one that was in the service. And today we learned during the opening statements it wasn't. So I don't know. Sad.
About certain things. and I want to explain why. Counts 7 through 17 charge false report. And to find the false report, they have alleged that she has acted with the intent to obstruct or hinder an officer from preventing the offense or incident from occurring. No. The case for the death of her daughter, the death had already occurred.
Jen, she did tell people, she told the news outside of the police station that she couldn't take it. Was it outside? Yeah, I think it was the outside with the yellow shirt on. I don't know if they're running together, but she certainly did say in an interview she couldn't do a lie detector because she was pregnant. Police were immediately asked about this, and they said it wasn't true. You know, they had never offered, the lie detector thing wasn't even a thing. And then there was this statement, if you go back to the recap I did, where they talked about how many pregnant inmates were in the jail. They couldn't specifically answer about her health, but they could say how many pregnant people were in the jail and how many were there like after she was booked and that kind of stuff at the time that she was booked. So yeah, she told a whole bunch of lies. She is Leilani and if Leilani and Letitia like were combined, you get Megan for real. And the younger, but Sprinkled Donut, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Prayers for justice for sweet baby Evelyn. And Punksy, thank you for the super sticker. Oh, and the link's pinned just whenever you want.
You gave your statements. So it's not to hinder an officer in preventing the offense now, or for continuing to occur. That's the first thing. So you have to determine, is she criminally responsible? Did she lie to the police? She absolutely lied to the police.
Okay, Bendy.
I'm not contesting that.
Oh,
So
she did?
She said, again, an 18-year-old girl scared
She absolutely lied to police. Okay.
to death, talking to a TBI agent, talking to a police officer, and trying to explain this. She doesn't want to get in trouble. It doesn't mean she murdered her child. It doesn't mean she killed her child. What it means is that's her perception that she's going to get in trouble.
Okay, buddy. I know you don't have much to work with, so I'm going to try to just... This is the part I wanted us to hear.
Despite
where he admits that she lied.
The assertions to the contrary by the state, this is a trial, and I want to choose my words carefully.
Yeah, you better.
Ms. Massengill talks about Evelyn. I get this right for Evelyn. Get justice for Evelyn.
Yeah.
And I want you to hear me out before you judge my statement.
I'm going to get pissed.
There's nothing you all are going to do that's going to change anything for Evelyn. Not a thing.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Jen's here. So let's pause this right here. And I still want to talk about the first witness too. So, hey, Jen.
Hey.
What you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm ready to have a nap today.
I bet you are tired. I was saying in the chat, I was going to tell you, like, you know, I've seen other people who stream trials do this too. Like if they have to run out and do an errand or pick up their kids, they'll just leave it on. So if you need a break,
I'm not going to take a nap.
No, not for a nap. But let's say you just need a little break. You want to go eat, or you need to run to the store, or you whatever. It would be okay to leave it on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Give you a break. I'll tell you later who, but I've definitely seen a couple other people do it that stream.
Well, I did like this morning and this afternoon, like I did run and grab a cig, and I did have to tinkle at one point because you can't be just sitting for 6 hours, and you have to drink because your mouth will get parched, you know, and so yeah. I'm a human.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So don't be hard on yourself, human, then. But just real quick, let me say thank you to Tess for being a member for 27 months. Holy cow. Thank you for
Wow.
being a voice for Evelyn the last 5 years. Thank you for having such a big heart. Thank you for being such a great friend. Love you. Oh, I love you too. And thank you. And Ash, thank you as well for the super sticker so much. Thank you both so much. All you guys. Thank you. So what do you think? What are your like just first thoughts from day one? Before
Hate her.
Same.
I just absolutely hate her.
I cannot believe he just said, there's nothing you all, here's the quote, there's nothing you all are going to do that's going to change anything for Evelyn. Not a thing. That child is gone. Your job here today and in the coming days and weeks will be to decide if Megan's actions are criminal or whether they're not criminal. No, she still deserves justice. Like how that, come on. You comprehend that you're a lawyer.
Right. I mean, listen, now I know that when you sign up to be an attorney, you take an oath and all of that. Okay. But nowhere in that oath does it say that you can come out with some cockamamie ass bullshit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might even be true. Like it is true. At the end of the day, there isn't anything that any of us are going to be able to do to bring Evelyn back. Evelyn was robbed of her life and the world was
true.
robbed of her potential. Okay. However, trying to say to the jury, well, I mean, basically, and this is going to come across cold, but this is how it came across to me. She's dead. We don't need to throw Megan away too.
Yeah, it's a very rude choice of words. And I don't think I wouldn't have hit my ears right as a juror. Sure, there's nothing you can do to bring her back, but I don't think it's true to say there's nothing you can do for her at all because she deserves justice. And I think that's for her. But
Right.
you know what I mean? That's, I guess.
They can make sure that Megan never sees the light of day so that she's never free to have another child and hurt another child. That's what they can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat. Thank you for gifting a membership. And Trio Girl Mom, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Absolutely love this channel and you, Alex, and everyone. I love you guys. And thank you, Trio Girl Mom. And I appreciate you guys. Okay. So what about this? Also, apparently, I don't remember this because I was very tired when we were watching the very beginning. But he says, the defense says, speaking of, I do remember this because we
talked about this.
Yeah. Speaking of Megan's dad, it seems strange how he had an epiphany as to where to search for Evelyn after it had already been thoroughly searched before. Dude. Like, come on. I just don't like that. I guess they have, we always see them kind of like with Leilani and Danny. We'll see defense attorneys kind of try to cast a little bit of, I don't know how to say it, like guilt on someone else. Like,
yes, they try to come up with an alternative suspect every time.
Yeah, but I just don't like it when it's like Grandpa, he's the one who reported it. He's the one who, I don't know. But
I know. I didn't like it either. And I'll say this too. One of the things that particularly infuriated me about that statement is, of all of the people in Evelyn's life who were seemingly, according to the state's opening statement, asking, where is Evelyn? Tommy is the only person that did anything about it. Now, I'm very interested in hearing from Tommy. I would like to know something happened. And I don't think I'm not saying that it was like a big something, but parents know their children and parents know when their child just something is up, something is not right, and something is up with their children. And so I want to know what it was that made him finally call, because that it had to have at least crossed his mind, right? That nothing she was saying was making sense. nothing, the way that she was acting wasn't making sense. And he knew that he was taking a risk calling like that, that it could turn out exactly how it has turned out. And he knew that he knew it, and he took the risk anyway because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. I really want to hear from him too, because think about it. Christmas went by and they didn't see her. I just want to hear like exactly what you said, what he was thinking, what he noticed that didn't seem right. And what exactly was that final, we know it was not seeing or not knowing where she was, but what was that final push to say, screw it? Because at the time there were rumors, and Bieber talked about this when she came on, because this is what case she started her channel with. And it was said that he told Megan's mom and Megan that he was going to do it if he didn't see Evelyn or hear from Evelyn like by a certain time period, and that, or by the end of that day. And Megan's mom told him, you're going to regret this. Like I don't remember exactly where it came from. So I'll say it was rumored, but it was
you're right. You're right. Because you know what? They mentioned that in opening statements.
Oh, okay.
They mentioned that you're going to regret this. And the only reason I remember is because anytime anybody says you're going to regret it, I always think of the opening scene to the very first season of American Horror Story, where the Addie is outside in front of the murder house and those two little boys go in, and she keeps saying on repeat, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And every time somebody says that, that's all I hear in my brain, which is, ridiculous. But that's what my brain does.
Well, I'm glad that you remember, because like I said, I just woke up like when it started. And so it took me a second to shake off my sleepiness. And then it was like, as soon as I did, we were into this like very intense testimony about finding her and all the pictures and stuff.
Yes.
MK, 2 years. Thank you for being a member for 2 years.
MK Lynn.
Molly says Megan has said that in an interview. But it was directed to her mom. Yeah, he said it to Megan's mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think about Brian Fraley, TBI agent who was on the stand today? I mean, damn, what a tough job,
Well, first of all, you have to tip your hat to the men and women of law enforcement who make these kind of discoveries, because that in and of itself is hard enough. Okay. Then not only did he make the discovery, he's the one that found Evelyn's body ultimately.
Yeah.
Then he had to document the scene, which included Evelyn's body. And he was instructed how to do that from a forensic pathologist. And so each time they removed a layer, photos had to be taken.
Yeah.
And then after all of that, he had to get up on the stand and describe for the jury what was in those pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could have found words to talk about what was, like he did. Like I could find words, because I would be saying things like, well, let me tell you, this monster over here at the defense table over there in the green shirt, the white skirt and the black cardigan, that piece of shit bitch ass over there. Let me tell you, yeah, like that would be me, especially when it came to describing how her head was. That is what he had a real hard time doing. And I'm so glad. Please hold. Mac is knocking at the door. Let me.
Okay. But Jen's right. When he was talking about her head and what you said, Molly, you could see it in his face. Like it wasn't easy.
It's been 5 years, right? But you could see on the stand when he was testifying that he was right back on that day in that little playhouse, reliving it again.
Yeah. And here on the screen, you guys, that's the little playhouse. It was Megan's when she was young. I do not have any of the photos that show, because they did show some that you could see her little leg. Mm-hmm. And, and some of the other ones you could see as he was flipping over. And even at the attorney, I didn't realize that video of her crying. I'll play it again at the end before we go, but we'll just look at a couple of these photos. So this is the shed, and then look at the little mailbox on the door next to the door.
I know.
Someone in your chat earlier was like, I think it was Patricia. I would have been so excited to set up a place like this for my daughter. And I would too. Can you imagine the fun in decorating it and just redoing it? And
I'm telling you right now, if I had this to give to Olivia, she would have the time of her life in that.
So cool. Yeah.
You know, even my grandson would like something like this. He would make it a fort, you know, or whatever boys do, you know.
Yes. Same here. And when I was a kid, we used to, because I grew up on a farm, and me and Summer used to like have our playhouse in the horse barn. We had this whole little thing like in the corner of the horse barn. That was our play in one of the barns, because there was a couple. And I would have just loved to have an actual playhouse like that. Like we used our imagination and went out to the barn and sat in hay and shit.
Right. Yeah. But can you imagine like oh, look. It's a Bindi on the screen.
I know. That took these in your live.
But just think about it, you know, like you played in that as a kid, right? And then you set it up for your daughter to play with, you know, and what did she do? She desecrated it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now she made it something that's horrible.
Yeah. Look at, so they said that most of the stuff in here hadn't been touched for a long time, except for, was it that tote, Jen? I can't remember, because he said there was like 2 things, the trash can, I think, and something else. But other than that, like nothing had been moved for a long time. And this white trash can is what she was found in. I did not picture that kind of trash can. I thought something bit like a bigger, like outside trash can. I cannot believe that it was one of these like little. Actually,
when they said kitchen trash can, so do I. Mine's white as well, although mine has a lid, and then you know. But
this one comes with a lid.
Did it? Yeah, those lids never hold up.
Yeah, or some of you can buy the lid. I guess maybe it comes like 2 pieces. I don't know, but mine had a lid, and it was the
mine
same.
did too. So, and mine's white as well. It's sitting in storage right now.
Well, you said they said kitchen trash can. Did they say that today? Because I mean, like before, when
some of the articles that I was reading said kitchen trash can.
Oh.
And that it came from Megan's kitchen.
Oh my God. Okay. Because I had always like just envisioned a bigger trash can. These are not big, you know.
No, they're not. And so the thing is, okay, so Evelyn is in a trash can she's in a trash bag that already has trash in it. Okay. And it's shoved into this trash can. But on top of it, this is the thing that you're talking about, Allie, that hadn't been touched, was another trash bag full of trash.
This here. And then because look, the next picture is this, which I guess was the underneath one, right?
Yes. Yes. She's in the white bag. She's in this one here.
My God. I mean, just sad and also fucked up. It's like
it is. And when he really struggled with describing, because okay, y'all, now this is bad, okay, but Evelyn was upside down, so she was head first in the trash bag in the trash can, okay, and the way that her little head was. So take your head and look up at the sky. That is how her head was, pushed to the bottom of. She was shoved in there with other trash.
Eggs.
Not only that, but on the outside of all of this, just loose, stuck to the side of the trash can itself, inside was a piece of gum.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Here's what he says in the article, or the article quotes him about the other trash. I keep talking about the trash bags and the trash can because they were relevant to us because they looked like they had recently been put there. Mm-hmm. These other items had dust and cobwebs and looked like they had been there for years undisturbed.
Exactly. See, this is what goes to the whole depravity of the situation. Okay. As if taking the life of your child isn't depraved enough. Okay. Then she does this, which means at some point after this is all said and done, and it wasn't just at some point like right after the murder. Okay. It was recently at some point that she took another bag of garbage out there and shoved it on top of her child, who was already in a bag full of garbage.
Yeah. Let me read to you what the article says about this part, and then we'll show the clip again of her crying. I want to hear like your thoughts up here with me about it, even though we talked about it a little bit earlier, but still it's different after it kind of settles in you and you get to look at it again. And I don't know, it is for me anyways. I feel like I grasp it more of it. So in the article, this is what about his testimony in the trash cans. Okay. Several of the photos depicted, okay, hold on. Fraley confirmed he was the one who removed Evelyn's body from the trash can. He was handed photos, asked to identify them, and he identified them as being from the removal process and including Evelyn's body and the other contents of the trash can. Several of the photos depicted Evelyn in a state of partial decay among trash as she is removed from the trash can. He said aluminum foil appeared to be wrapped around her head, which was in, quote, in a backwards position, unquote, and situated abnormally. He also pointed out several insects in the photos that could be seen among the trash. Fraley continued to describe each one of the photos and talk about the removal of the layers. That's what Jen was talking about. He said the foil around her head appeared to have been formed around her. It did not take long to remove the foil, he noted. He described finding bodily fluids consistent with decomposition, makes me think of Harmony. And as the photos were shown, she could be seen crying in her seat. Several jurors were also crying. Harper provided Fraley with more photos of the trash can, some of which were taken when Evelyn was still in it and others when she had been removed. He pointed out the chewing gum. He said he could not recall any other contents of the trash can. He moved those photos into evidence. He then turned to the interviews and talked about this purple onesie. But wait, I thought he did talk about the egg thing, because I remember something about eggs.
He did. He talked about eggshells, and he also talked about Martha White, a package for Martha White chocolate chip muffin mix. You know, those ones you can get at the store for like $1.
Yes, yes. My mom uses those sometimes.
Yeah. I used to buy them for like after school snacks for the kids because they're cheap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it looks like the judge is going to review a 2-hour interview. That's what he went to into the chambers. He said that if he were to watch just a clip, it would complicate the appeals process. So we need to watch it in its entirety. So I wonder, and that's the end of it. And I wonder, will we get to see that? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. The argument today was really about the timing of it all. Okay. So when the state dismissed one of the counts of falsifying information, what was it? False reporting. When they removed, okay, so what I paid attention to when they were reading off the indictments, okay, which is her charges, when they got to the lying, all right, when they were reading those charges off, they were naming specific people that she had lied to, okay? So what I think what happened is when they dismissed that one charge, it had to do with that specific detective, okay? So when the prosecutor asked the detective, did Megan ever make a statement about Evelyn being dead or deceased?
Mm-hmm.
He answered the question, yes. Okay. Well, the defense was like, what are you doing? Now we're not hearing, the jury's not going to hear it in context. They're going to think that she admitted to something that she didn't admit to. And I don't think, because I noticed also that when they were reading off the lying indictments, it was always two names. So what I'm thinking is this detective was called to the stand for this specific testimony. He's the one who recovered the body. He is the one who documented the scene. And that is what they wanted him to testify for. I think that they intended to use the other detective who probably spoke with her that day to talk about speaking with Megan. And that is how her statement was going to come in. Like he might have been in the room, but it was the other detective that was actually conducting the interview.
Yeah. And we've seen that before. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I understand that the judge and the defense, the judge particularly, I mean, obviously the defense is doing this to preserve stuff at a later time for appeals. He doesn't want one of her appeals to be an ineffective assistance of counsel appeal. So he had to do what he had to do. Yeah. What I'm annoyed about is when they were making these arguments, okay, it took the arguments didn't take that long. Okay. Then they forwarded some case law, both sides did, to the judge who was looking at them in his chambers. But there was still a substantial amount of time where like nothing was going on. Okay. And I think that I wish that the judge would have said, all right, go get me her statement. I'm going to listen to her statement, because I think if he'd have done that, then the trial, it would have gone on. It would have continued today. We wouldn't be stuck with one witness and we didn't even finish this witness. Like the state did not pass the witness. They're still questioning him.
Yeah. Which I really look forward to a lot of the other witnesses, but I want to hear the rest of his testimony too. I want to see it all. But okay, so be real. They did. So that is who ultimately reported her missing, the grandpa, but we don't know the dynamics, how often they saw each other, anything like that. We know they didn't see her for Christmas. I'm really curious why Megan's mom wouldn't have reported her missing, or what she was thinking at the time, just based on what we talked about a few minutes ago. But so
Mike can answer that.
Well, okay, let me just say that,
sorry.
We just don't know how often they usually saw each other, Megan's dad, and you know what I mean, or her other family members, if she ever saw him. Maybe she was purposely staying away from a lot of them. We do know that she was making up excuses to the pediatrician, so I'm sure she was saying the same stuff, to everybody. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and hear from the family, like what they thought or were told. Okay, go ahead, Jen. Sorry.
Okay, so Megan has already come out a long time ago and said, and I don't like this word, but this is the word she used. She did say that they are gypsies. Okay. Now,
her dad, though.
Her dad is. Mm-hmm. But the thing about when, because I have friends that are Rumney. So, when a gorger, which is a traveler, marries into or becomes part of the family, they take on the Rumney traits. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it is, you don't call the Muskers, which is
they're divorced.
The police.
They're not together.
That part I know, but it's okay. So it's something that's like, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm not explaining it.
No, you're explaining it perfectly. It's just, I get what you're saying, because it's basically like in drug culture. They don't call the police. You don't call the police. They're also involved in. So, yeah.
But so the thing about that is, even if her mom isn't Rumney, being with her father like that, is ingrained in her. And it's not one of those things that once you're away from it, you just forget about. I don't know how to, it's like, it's one of those things that sticks with you.
Right. But think about this. Her dad is the one who actually is. And he's
I know
proud of it. And he's the one who called.
I know. So I know. So that's what makes it even, like, that's why it irritated me so much the way that the defense attorney was trying to throw shade and cast, doubt on Tommy Boswell, because it is something that you just don't do. And
Well,
so
yeah.
for him to have done that on top of knowing that there was a chance that it was going to work out like this, right?
Says a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, her mom was into drugs, and I know back when I was like in that culture, hanging like out and with dealers, and like you don't call over anything. It doesn't matter if somebody's very seriously hurt, if the overdose happens, anything, you bring them back yourself. Like, that's oftentimes what you'll see people doing CPR on other people in those houses, in dope houses and stuff, because they won't call the police.
Right. Now, Angela Boswell is somebody who I'm quite interested in hearing from, because she was blamed early on.
Yeah, she was.
Megan said that Evelyn was with her, and not only that, but that her mother had threatened her.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard in opening statements today that Megan also said, or also told law enforcement, that the reason that Angela was holding Evelyn is because Megan owed her money.
Yeah. She also said, like, another one of her stories, I remember, it was something like her mom gave her to someone else, and like that person wouldn't hurt. Like, I don't know. She just had all these different stories. That was the person at the trailer park who she was going to go get her back herself. And it was interesting because when her mom was finally found and arrested, so they put out the Amber Alert, they put out the vehicle her mom drives, the grandma, and this vehicle actually belongs to Hunter, and
yes,
Megan was using. But
they reported it stolen.
Yes. And at the time, I truly thought that her mom was probably involved. And even like Bieber said, she felt the same thing. Like, I really was so surprised that she wasn't, because that's the way it came off. Like, they're part of the Amber Alert. They're arrested. Like, they won't speak. They didn't call. It's just weird. So I can't wait to hear from her and her boyfriend. And because I believe that, I don't know, who knows what else they know. He had an interesting interview. He was released from jail, mom's boyfriend, like the day, just within days of Evelyn being found. And he was interviewed on the way, like, to the car. And it's always like just giving me the creeps. There's something weird about that interview. So we should go back and watch it sometime.
Oh, we should. Like, maybe what we need to do is, because what is going on? Why is that talking? There's I think my granddaughter's iPad is talking. I don't know. Anyway, it's just, it's done it twice, and I don't know what it's doing, and it's kind of freaking me out. But anyway, my thing is, okay, I guess, I don't know. I guess it's the TV. Who knows? That's kind of freaking me out. Turn off. Like, I don't appreciate your tone, TV. That was kind of aggressive. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. What were we talking? Oh, what we should do is, after Hunter testifies, we should play that interview. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I couldn't mute.
Well, after Hunter and then the mom and the boyfriend, we can go back and look at all that stuff with mom.
Yeah, let's look at all. Let's see what they said let's see what they say in court, and then see what, they said back then.
Yeah, I would love that. And I also remember they even have footage of like them in court, like for the bond hearing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, there's tons of old stuff. Okay, but I want to wrap it up in a second. But before we do, I want to bring.
Why do you ever have me up here if you want to wrap things up? That's never going to happen if you couldn't put me up on the panel. I'm going to talk to you forever, because like Allie and I just have been like not able to talk like we used to be able to talk. We used to talk every single day. And we just haven't been able to do that. And now we're talking. And so now I don't want to get off the panel because I want to talk to my friend.
I know. I do too. But we have a lot it'll be interesting and fun to do the trial together, talking about it along the way. That's true. Yeah, now you're busy with your busy grandma these days. You know what I mean?
I am busy. I am, but I always have time for my friends. And I want to say this really quickly before you play this, because this thing on the screen just reminded me of something. I know that people feel differently. Different people feel differently about potential images being shown. Okay. I'm going to say it like this. For me personally, I will throw up a overlay or something. I don't want to show those. I think we get it. I think we know. For me personally, if you want to see it, if people want to see it, I'm not judging them. It's just not going to be on my channel.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's just the way that I feel about it, you know. I'll understand if you're like, well, then let me take myself over to like a different stream that is showing it. And then if you want to come back, cool. Like I don't judge. I just feel like there's something in my gut is telling me not to do it. And every time I don't listen to my gut, it gets me in trouble every single time. So I'm going to listen to my gut.
Your channel, your gut. So I say you go with your gut. And also, I don't think that we're going to even come into that. Maybe with the medical examiner, I guess.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they'll like today. They didn't show even the one that we like. They didn't show the ones that they were flipping through that you could see. No. So I don't think they will. You know, I get all opinions. Because I definitely understand the side of it that's like, I don't want to censor anything. That's kind of more where I lean towards. However, I could see the other side of it too. And I think it's kind of just personal to you. And it's your channel. So you do what feels right.
I think it's because she's a child. And
oh, yeah, that's very different
of
an adult.
Because of my experience with the West Memphis 3 case, like I learned things that I'm glad that I learned them, but it messed me up. And so I know that's what it is. It's because it's a child. It's because Evelyn is a child.
Well, it's definitely different. Like think about crime scene photos of adults. Like I feel like most people wouldn't have as much of a problem with that or as hard of a time looking at it.
It's not as hard. It's not as hard. It's just something different, you know? And listen, like I said, I respect everybody's opinion and I am normally not, I'm one of those people. I don't delete comments off my channel. Except for when the bots used to come in and drop links, those I deleted and I did block those. But for the most part, I don't delete comments from my channel, not in my chat and not like in the comment section after the fact. And sometime y'all should go over there and take a look because some people have said some real foul and real throwed off stuff to me. And I still don't I do believe people should be able to express their opinion, but there is something different about a child.
Well, yeah. I could see that. See, I don't know, don't judge me, but I kind of like to see everything. But everybody's different and I respect that. You know what I mean? So yes, they did. Mom interrupted. We saw, and right here, you can't see it, but you can see them flipping through it. Mm-hmm. But you can't see what it is in this clip here.
But I think that they did it out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's watch Megan's reaction to all the photos of her daughter being found. Oops, hold on.
Oh, hey, Hunter, what's up? No show?
Department.
Sorry, hold on.
Just where we had better to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department. Just where we had better lighting, better environment to log and process evidence items that were
that's her looking at the photos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's so wild to know that, like, and see it like this. On my phone, I just thought she was looking for approval, like at the people around her, because in her interviews, she does that a lot. She'll say
she does do that.
Yeah. But oh my gosh.
She'll say something and then she has a look on her face like, did you believe me?
Yeah. Yeah. And a smile that's like, I don't know. It's just very immature, you know. Look at her age though. So I'm not surprised. But okay, well, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. Melissa's on in a few minutes. And then also I told my mom that I was coming over there to check on her at 8. So I got to go check on her. But
perfect. Well, let me just say this. Megan, in my estimation, I'll never know for sure. But to me, these tears are too little too late. I have nothing for you. Okay. You're crying because of what you did. Your tears are because you got caught, because you're sitting where you're sitting, because your intention, the way that you disposed of your own child. Okay? The way that you did that, you intended for her never to be found. You know it, and I know it. And hopefully soon the jury will know it as well.
Yep.
Those tears are not for they're not for you feeling bad about what you did. And not for you're not shocked at what a heinous act you committed. That's not what you're crying for. And you know it. I know it too. So just stop.
Yep. I completely agree. And I hope you guys will join us to watch the trial over on Jen's. I just dropped the link. And then I'm also going to drop Melissa's link. And then Nurse Kristen, thank you so much. I will check that out. And Jen, I'll send it to you too. Article about Hunter.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning over at Jen's. So thank you for being here and going through it all with me. And Jen, thank you so much for coming up. And I hope anytime I'm talking about it and you want to, that you will.
Well, I hope that you come over tomorrow. And when we're on a lunch break again, you come up again, because that was fun this afternoon. Let me tell y'all, if you missed it today, Allie has been so encouraging of me streaming this trial. And so supportive. And when that whole situation with Hunter came up, she was telling me about it, and she's like, and I got screenshots for you. Well, because she cares, because she wanted to help me out. She didn't have to do that. Fortunately, I was bebopping around because Law and Crime, as soon as court was over, the stream was no longer available, and I saw it flashed when I was still sharing the screen. So I went around to try to find other streams, and I stumbled on Court TVs. And after Allie was done telling me all the things, and I rewound it, right, and there it was. But she just, she took screenshots for me. She sent me pictures of Evelyn, and she's just a good egg, and I appreciate it. And I always like talking about stuff like this with Allie because,
Me too, because I love your brain, the way it works. It's just always very interesting. And yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to let Jen know, and the chatters know, like they need to know this now.
Yes. This fool didn't show up. Which is right up my alley, because you guys know I love nothing more than to talk a little smack, and that was perfect. And we needed it because that testimony was so heavy, and it's going to be so heavy throughout the rest of this trial. This is a heavy, heavy trial.
Yeah, it really, really
is.
is.
Thank you, Be Real.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments that say that, Jen, and that are looking forward to tomorrow. And then TK, thank you. That's sweet. And because I literally will even tell my niece, because she's at this age where she's like kind of pointing things out about the way people look at stuff. And I try to tell her, listen, we support the girls. We don't make comments about other girls' looks. We lift them up. It's hard being a girl, and there's so many people who will tear you down if they can. So we support the girls.
Absolutely. We support the girls.
Yes.
Always. Although I'm not going to lie, some of y'all girls make it real hard.
Yes. We don't support girls that hurt their kids like Megan.
No, not those kind of girls. I mean, obviously there's some caveats to that. Okay. I'm all for girl power and all that, this, that, and the third, but there are some of these girls that I don't even claim, like Letitia. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Lori Vallow, you too. And Melanie Gibb. I know you're guilty of something. I can't quite figure out exactly what you're guilty of, but I don't support your ass either.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap. I'm just gonna hit in, because if I don't, I'll talk forever.
Yes, I know, and we will talk forever.
Already, we'll do it without you here, and then if you come up, I'm definitely gonna do it. All right, so I'll see you guys over at Melissa's and then over at Jen's. I'm going to drop those links again, and I'll add them to the description as soon as it ends, before I even get up. And then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So have a good night. Bye.
Good night, you guys. Bye. Thanks for having me, Allie.
Thank you for coming.